Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another live stream here on Studio Live today. My name is Pete, and Studio Live today is where I try to help you create, record, and release your best music. We do that through tips and tricks and tutorials and live videos just like this one. If that's your bag and you haven't already, consider subscribing. Welcome to this very experimental live stream. So, this one is not going to be for the faint of heart. It's going to be long and grueling, and we're going to be experimenting and doing all sorts of weird and random stuff. It should be a lot of fun. Hopefully, it'll be at least entertaining, educational, or a tiny pinch of both. But the main focus here is to move us and push us along with these 5 tracks for my new EP. I also have a new setup here. You may have noticed, or you may not, that I'm not using StreamYard today, so I can't pop up your chat and do the funky banners and do all the other things. I'm using OBS, and I'm using a new NDI streaming sharing from my iPad. It's all experimental. As I say at the start of most of these shows, it could be awesome and a newfound way to do things, or it could be a wee bit of a train wreck. Either way, you get to experience it along with me. Just going to check the health of my stream here. YouTube is saying I'm okay, but OBS is saying that I'm hunky-dory. I do trust OBS a little more than YouTube, so we'll go with it. It's okay at the moment. If you are here live and you can help me out because we are experimental, let me know what the quality is going to be like here. Now, I do have a few things set up here. I've got over here, I can swing into view. I've got a microphone set up if I need to add any recording parts. I do have my Steinberg UR22C just out of shot down here. Might even swing the camera around and have a play a little bit later if we need to. So we are set up, and we're good to go. All the sound is going through my mixer here. So that's what you heard at the start there. That was just going through a couple of stereo channels. And yes, you should get stereo. In fact, let's do a quick stereo test, shall we? Let's bring up just the left channel and hit play. Maybe I should be hearing that over there. And let's put it the right channel. So the benefit of having this, unfortunately, StreamYard doesn't support 1080p video, and it doesn't support stereo audio. So that is what we're trying here. Let's check in with the folks who are here live and make sure that everything is working okay. Jade says, looking and sounding good here. Metallian 58, so far so good. We've got Gear Fernando, hello to you. Tim Osborne is here. RB, hello to you. Desolate Morning is here. Scott's on board. Tom Rochelle's on board. Zan Hour. We've got John Riley here. Adam Matters, thanks for being here, my friend. We've got Langston Reese is here as well. Thank you, everyone, for coming along. Like I say, we will see how we go with this one. John says, what kind of mixer are you using? I'm using the Zoom Live Track L8. I've had it for about 6 months now. Very handy mixer, great for live performances and live streaming just like this one. Highly recommend it. Head over. I can't put the banner that I normally do. I need to get better at OBS. I know Streamlabs OBS is apparently much more user-friendly. I might need to update to that. But yeah, use the Zoom Live Track L8. If it's your first time around here, I've got a gear guide that shows you all of the stuff that I use. That's over at studiolivetoday.com/gear. All right, I'm a wee bit nervous about this because I've only tested it once and it worked okay. So let's see if it works. If we bring it up, it actually worked. And what you should probably see is we've got a better refresh rate now than we had with the airplane mode. So I shout out to Pete, who is another YouTube creator, a professional looper and performer. I interviewed him on the channel a while ago. He put me on the NDI, that's the new NDI app, saying with NDI OBS, and you can use your iPhone, you can use your iPad to stream directly to your Wi-Fi. So my Wi-Fi test this morning, see how well it can cope with this. We'll give it a crack, shall we? So we have just audio is choppy. Okay, so it's not working. We'll come back over to here. Let me know if back on my face if the audio is going to be okay. Otherwise, yeah, like I say, experimental people. We're going to try some things out. If it works, that's great. If it doesn't, no good. John Riley says, going to the Zoom Live Track L12 soon myself, heard lots of good things. Let me know if we've got audio back sounding okay again now that I'm back on just my face, and then I can have a bit of a play around with the audio. It was so close, so close. to getting something good. Back now? Okay, cool. Jade is telling me the audio is back now. So it is something to do with the scene I set up there with my display, which is a bit of a pain in the butt. Let's see if I can. I'm just going to enable it again, but audio's back. That's better. Excellent. I'm just going to enable it again. Like I said, sorry, you are going to be my guinea pigs today. I'm a guinea pig too. We're just going to test this. I will just be quiet for a moment, and I'm going to go back over to the other source, and then I'll check my mixer here and see what's actually going on. So we'll try over here, and I'm checking there. Everything else is muted. Just to make sure all other sources are muted here. And I've just got my mixer. OBS is showing no audio coming through, apart from my voice through my mixer. So if you let me know if this is going okay. What I'm now going to do is carefully unplug and replug in the USB audio interface to see if this is going to cause the problems. Okay. So that's going to plug in to give me this morning, which it does. Turn on the monitoring. Should now be coming through the channel here. Choppy again. Unfortunate. Well, it was nice. Thanks for being here, folks. Thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you. No, we'll go to Plan B. That's okay. More experimentation needed. Don't worry, we've always got a plan B. We can always do something different. So I'm going to turn off my streaming there, and we're going to come on back around, and we're going to have to go back to the good old-fashioned reflector with AirPlay, which I know works. I'm just going to shift a few things around here on my screen, so we can come here to the reflector and bring this up, and then we'll reflect back onto my screen. Let me just go to my desktop and webcam mode here. If you can just confirm, this one is one that I've used plenty of times before, so I'm hoping that this will be okay. If you can confirm if there's any issues, that would be good. I'm then going to mirror my iPad up here onto the screen, which should go boom like that, and it has. Get rid of that thing off the side, and then we should be able to just bring this up over. Yes, we're going to get the latency and the lag and the issues that we've had on previous streams, but that's okay. We're going to continue trying until I get a perfect solution here. But yeah, if you can just tell me if the audio is okay here, we should be good to go. Because as I said, this is a method that I've used before. I will need to unplug and replug just to get the monitoring back again so it doesn't play the audio through AirPlay, but it just means we're going to be back to about 1 frame a second on this one. Hooray! We'll turn on the monitoring there. Let's just play this and make sure it's working okay. It's not coming through because I don't have the mixer up. And I try to make amends, but it's not always easy. So hopefully what you're now getting is still a stereo mix of the music in your left and right, and then when I'm talking, you're getting me down the middle. Let's just play a bit again. And I try. Let me know if that's okay, and then we will proceed. We will continue on. Seems fine that way, says Tom Rochelle. When you unplugged the interface, it went good and went back once it came back on. Audio is fine now. All's good now. Well, all's well that ends well. We are back up and running so we can actually get on with things. Like I said, I needed to test that out. I had done a recording. I got the choppy audio one time, and then I thought I'd set things correctly, and then I wasn't getting choppy audio. I think it's something to do with sampling rate of I don't know. We're going to play around with it. Yes, reflector for the win. Plan B is good. So yeah, again, it just means that I get a nice smooth dot here, but you're going to get it at about 1 to 2 frames a second. You'll still be able to follow along, I think, and see what we're doing. So let's update and let's take a look at what we're doing here. So today we're going to revisit where we were at. You're going to get to listen in stereo, as I said, and see sort of what we're going on with here. And we'll go through each of these tracks. So No Applogies, which is our first track that we have there. Hold On is the second track, and we've got something. Jade said she's nervous about this because she sent me a project that I haven't even listened to. In fact, I haven't even got it on my iPad yet, so I'm going to have to bring it on over and open it up in a moment. So we'll do that as we go. After we've done No Applogies, I've then got Fence Sitter and Things Have Changed and Perfect, which Jade has also done some drumming for. So yeah, we'll get to play around with these. And what I hope is for today if you remember back, I did have like these aspirations to, hang on, you're going to see behind the scenes here as I'm flicking around on my different things. Yeah, what you're going to see here today is, yeah, hopefully we're going to catch up on where we were at before. So I had a schedule for these 2 weeks, and every day I had something else to do. And it's been good. It's been good for this reason. It's been good because it's kept me on track and made me realize what I haven't done and what I should have done, and has kind of kept me pushing along. Have I done everything and nailed every different thing along the way? Heck no, I haven't done that at all. But we're at the position now where we've still... we had nothing, and we've now got these 5 tracks in pretty much the semblance of order that I want them to be. So let's jump in now. I'm just going to jump into No Applogies. If you haven't seen me use this track before, we'll just bring it up. I'm going to be very careful to hit the right button now to get it back to desktop. There we go. So this is my track, No Applogies. We'll have a quick listen to it in stereo. I've been mixing it through the week, and I have taken, I've broken this down before in the past, but let's just take a quick journey through here. We've got 2 acoustic guitars here on the left and the right. Let's just solo these as we go along. So these are complementary guitars, one on the left, one on the right, recorded twice using this over here, the Audio-Technica AT2020. They sound like this. I then have a couple of acoustic lead guitars that come here in the second verse. We'll play them. And you can hear that there's a heap of delay there, and I've also got a double of these parts here. So this one actually says it's the double, which plays along with them through the middle here. Just plays a little soft, subtle thing to complement here. And then when they all come together in these sections, there you go. You can hear that delay, and hopefully you can hear the nice richness of the stereo delay when we're listening to it today. This is why I wanted to use this. So a bunch of echo on here, and again, I use the master effects a heap in these sort of tracks. I've got quarter note echo, which I love to use, and quarter note on guitar solos. Especially, but as well as guitars like these ones, lead guitars are very cool. The guitar solo also has very similar processing. So if we come down here, let's take a listen to the guitar solo. And the beauty part of these guitars is I just use the nice room. So the very standard, so when you go to set up a new instrument, a new guitar here in GarageBand, it gives you this option. If you go into your audio recorder settings, one of them is this one, the nice room. And yeah, it works beautifully. It's a great starting point for your guitars. So I recommend using that if you're recording acoustic guitars. The method I used for these, I don't have my acoustic. It's getting a new setup. It's actually getting fretwork done and a new setup, and it's going to be awesome for the weekend. But the method I use, I'll zoom back on out here so you can have a look. So I literally sit somewhere around here. I'll just move my mic back so you can still hear me. And I put the microphone up like this, have it up here pointing down at about the 12th fret on my guitar, and have a distance of about a foot, half a meter away. And then I just sort of rotate it side to side until I get the right mix, because when you're recording acoustic, you want to have a mix of the body for that bassy sound and the neck for the string sound. So you don't want it right up on the top of the neck, or it's just going to sound twangy and horrible. Too far down on the bottom, like too near the sound box and the sound hole, it's going to be too boomy. So somewhere in between there is where you want to find the sweet spot. And I basically use this method for all guitar recording now. Large diaphragm condenser like this one, the AT2020 from Audio-Technica, down at my 12th fret on my guitar, record it, and you get a nice sound. So that's my guitar stuff. And because I use a lot of acoustic guitars in a lot of these tracks, I thought I would explain that now so that you're up to speed when we go through, because pretty much every other song has the acoustic guitar recorded that way. Where there's exceptions, I'll tell you about them, and we'll take a look there. Carefully press the right button here. Come back to this view. Now, drums, please. So the drums here I've showed these before, so I'm only going to touch on them briefly, but thank you to Jade Star. She's basically finding a way to be a drum on every single one of these tracks, which is very cool and very fine by me because I'm not a talented person when it comes to programming drums. And you got to know your limitations, what you're good at, what you're not good at, and why not use someone else's talents. So let's just bring the drums in here. This is Jade's drums, like this. Really nice, simple but effective, solid beat. Exactly what this song needed. If you bring it in with the bass here. Can you hear how the kick drum or the bass drum and the bass guitar riff just really just knit together beautifully? They really just punch the song along. So when you combine all of that with all of these guitars, I'm actually super impressed with this. I know I say that mostly because of Jade's drumming here, but it's one of the better acoustic guitar sounds and recordings I've got, I think. If we bring it all together with the drums, the bass, and the guitars, we get this. So I think it's just a nice, it's a nice wide mix. It's got, the reason that I haven't done much with this while I've been remixing is that I think it just sounds good. I think it's in the right zone. And then we got a bunch of vocals, which I won't take you through in detail except to say they were mostly recorded again with the Audio-Technica AT2020. It really is a do-everything microphone. Recorded the original vocals, the lead vocals, and then a bunch of backing vocals. We've got a vocal double in there for some of the parts, which I use a lot. It's all over the shop. The reason, actually, I can show you this. So we've got these bridge vocals, and I tried to show you these last time, and someone said, we can't hear any of the stereo panning. But I actually like these, because what I did here is I put this slightly to the left and this slightly to the right, so we get this sort of effect through the bridge here. When you think I've got it made, must be good to be this way. Look at what the people say. So yeah, I originally I thought, I think it's a bit lame, and then I'm like, I'm going to go with it. It's different. It changes things up, and I think that's pretty cool. So that's pretty much going to do it, because I haven't changed a whole lot. The only other instruments we have down here is the electric pianos and the organ, which I love to put in all sorts of tracks like this. So if we listen to these instruments coming in here. Again, just providing a bit of a pad here underneath there. Alrighty, so there's not much else to be said for this, because that's basically it. That's the final mix, and we can move on with this one. Oh, don't do that, Pete. Does anyone else do that when you're tapping on your screen in GarageBand, and suddenly, this is why when you're scrolling up and down, you should always scroll by tapping on the actual, tap here. Don't tap out here, don't tap here. You're going to do damage. Tap right on the icon, because that's where you can do the least amount of damage on your screen in GarageBand. There you go. Freebie tip there for you. So that is my song, No Apologies, and where it's at the moment, and a few of the techniques that I've used there. Where do we go from here? Well, I reference this. I'll listen to it on some other sources, on my monitor speakers, maybe on my earbuds as I'm walking around today, to get a feel for any final changes that need to be made. And that's usually in the way of automation, which we'll cover in detail in a future video, which may be some parts may need to just come up or down a little bit, and then we're right into mastering. So there we go. We will move on from that one and head on to our next track in just a moment. But let's jump back over and say hello to the folks that are here live, and make sure that they're not saying, Pete, we can't hear you, or your audio's gone choppy, or everything's terrible again. Hopefully not. Johnny Vans, hello to you. Good stuff there. Metallian says loves the panning in that one. Excellent. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's good. I think having those two really wide acoustic guitars playing the same part, but two versions of it, creates a nice stereo width. And then having that vocal in the bridge just sort of going to the sides, I think it's nice. It's a good balance, I think. Jade's so Scott's saying that Jade's drumming is excellent. It is. I really need to drum more after spending an entire day drumming. My wrist is stuffed. When we will hear more of Jade's drumming in just a moment as well. Let me just make sure I'm on the right setting. I am. Yeah, if you could let me know if there's any other issues that pop up, I'll keep an eye on the chat, because if you're just joining us, I had a new method I was going to try today, and I was super excited about it until it completely didn't work. So that was a whole lot of not coolness. Alrighty, now for this next one, and again, hopefully Jade hasn't completely rickrolled me here and is going to send me something weird. But she has taken my perfect and my hold on, and she's added some new drums to those. So I thought this would be an interesting opportunity to show you that if someone sends you a project, how do you bring it in? How do you collaborate? I know, was it Johnny Vans? You're here. I think you were having some questions about the online collaboration and the way that you can do it with iCloud Drive. The reason that I don't use that is because I've found that it's not that reliable. And I think you were having issues, or if it wasn't you, it was someone else on the GarageBand users group was having issues with being able to actually share and collaborate with someone using that method. So yeah, what I do is a different way, which I'm going to show you in a moment. Now, as I'm talking, the reason I'm sounding slightly distracted is what I'm doing is I'm using audio share here. That's not going to work. I'm using audio share here to connect up my iPad to my Windows PC and actually jump in here so that I can, the downloaded zip files that Jade has sent me, I'm going to be bringing these in to my iPad. So I'm copying these across. I know you can't see this on your screen now because you're just seeing my mug, just because it's showing things like IP addresses and things that I probably shouldn't be showing. So I'll just wait for these to copy across, and then I will show you where they are and how we then get to them. So all I've done so far is just gone into Audio Share, set up the Wi-Fi drive, gone to my Wi-Fi drive, copied across the 2 zip files that Jade has sent me, and now I'm ready to actually open up these zip files or unzip them and then bring them into GarageBand. So let's show you how we do that now. If you get a zip file from someone, I'm just going to close these windows. Hopefully not close the wrong one. That would be disastrous. All right, we're good there. So I should be able to now switch back so that you can see my Wi-Fi drive over here. There we go. Hey, correct. So here is Audio Share. If you haven't used Audio Share before, it's a must-own bit of software. It's $6 here in Australia. I think it might be $3 in the US. It's just something that you should definitely just get. It does so many cool things. So I'll just turn the Wi-Fi drive off and done like that. So here are the 2 zip files that we have. So if we click or tap on, what are we doing? Hold on. So we'll tap on hold on first. Do you want to extract the contents of the zip file? Yes, I do. Thank you, Audio Share. It's going to extract that one, and then there it is. There is the .band project. Now, I'm just wondering, did I do that wrong? Because I think Audio Share, it may now not work. Let's try. Let's see if we can actually just import or copy this across to our GarageBand folder from Audio Share. Otherwise, we may need to use files. So we'll flick up. We will come into GarageBand, and we'll see if we can go directly into Audio Share. And I'll put it in my video import file. Oh, yep, it's worked. That's cool. So here we can actually bring it in. Now, to make sure that I'm organized, I'm going to firstly tap it and select it, and then I'm going to move it because I want to stick it over in my EP folder here so I know where it is. Otherwise, I'll leave it there and I'll get confused, and I'm an old man and I don't need confusion in my life. So we'll copy that one across. We'll then come back over here to iCloud Drive and GarageBand and In Progress and my EP. I got a lot of GarageBand projects. And here it is, the moment of truth. And I've not heard these. So you've seen, I've literally just downloaded. Jade sent me these this morning. I've downloaded them and I'm going to open it up here. So get ready for the Rickroll. Never going to give you up. Oh no, she's used Tonebridge on the guitars and I don't have it. On your computer. Yeah, so I may have to download Tonebridge to get this happening. We'll hit OK on that one. Oh no, Jade, you've used some plugins that I don't have. We should be able to still get a listen to the drums though, and everything else should sound okay. Has Tonebridge been put on these amps? We'll find out. You've done some automation on there too, or did I do that? I think that might have been on the original project. What I can do though, so because I did a little bit of work on Hold On and the other day, which I may or may not keep, and Jade had the older project. She's added these to the original project file. So we will see how this all sounds. But what you can actually do here in GarageBand is that if I copy each of these drum tracks, I can actually tap it and copy it. I can then open up my version and paste it in. So that as long as I use the same sort of drums that Jade's used here, so as long as I set up the same drum track using the Sunset kit, then that's going to work a treat. I don't know. Am I stalling for time because I'm excited to actually hear these? I am indeed. So let's go back. Why don't you go into my track view? Sometimes the mouse, you click it and it just doesn't do anything. You have to go back and actually tap it. It kind of loses its mojo, its mousy mojo. Let me just make sure that the audio is still coming through okay, and that I'm still streaming live here. Oh, see, you can see I've got everything going on here at the moment. I just need to... this is why StreamYard is good. It doesn't have all the options, but it means that I can do everything that I need to do. All right, I'm just going to come back to YouTube so that we're good. Yeah, just remove ToneBridge. You can remove them. Yeah, ToneBridge is apparently good. I use multiple kits. Jade's keeping me on my toes by using multiple kits here. We will play it anyway, as we have here, for the sake of this stream. And then through the day when I'm playing around with it, I can decide whether I need to move it across or just use Jade's mix, because she's probably already done it and made it sound awesome. Right, let's bring it back up. Need a third monitor. I'm like, 2 monitors is not enough. All right, there we go. Oh, go away. Anyone have that problem with their Windows start menu? I try to have the hide thing and then it just pops up again. All right, moment of truth. Let's take a listen to my song Hold On with brand new drums from Jade Starr. And in stereo high fidelity sound, no less. Let's give it a crack. See, now I want now I want that to be the finale. Now I want that to be the last song on the EP. Oh, problems. Good problems to have though, right? Wow, that was so cool. Yeah. What can you say except that they are some professionally programmed drums, and I owe you one, Jade. So yeah, everyone go check out Jade's channel. I mean, I know most of you that are watching here live have, but yeah, and you need to do some more drum tutorials, I think, Jade, because I think people want to know how to program drums like you've done there. Because what you could hear there is the beautiful panning. Like you said, you used a couple of different kits there. I could hear two different cymbals in there, which is a sort of next level move, something that I don't do well. So yeah, I'm not going to do much with it. I think this is going to go into the, because we got 4 days, people. This is going to go into the basket with No Applogies and just go, that's close. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably sit at a cafe this afternoon with my headphones on and my iPad and just get my static mix, maybe do a little automation on this, and then I reckon we're pretty good. And maybe I'll even download ToneBridge and see what you've done with those guitars, because what you probably noticed there is that I just jumped in here because it's got good drums now. The old drums were so crappy that the guitars sort of punched through a bit more. The guitars needed a little bit more. So I used a tip, and I'll show it to you here. A really cool tip is if you've already got automation on a track, but you want to just give it a couple of dB of volume, what you can do is come into your plugins and go to your EQ, your visual EQ here, and over on the right, yes, you get a gain slider. So you can actually pump it up by 2 or 3 dB here, and everything else stays the same. As long as you don't touch anything else, it'll all stay the same. All your automation moves will be the same, just the source volume coming through the EQ will put it up a couple of notches. And you can even do the same thing. I think I've got it on this track here. Down here, if you've got an FX track, you can do the same thing here, which I've actually done with this track because it was a little bit intense because it's got so many different tracks and lots of guitars and pianos and things. In this one, I've actually got the volume down a little bit there. So it's just not clipping. So when you look at the overall the volume up here, sometimes you need to turn things down just a little bit. So that is where we're at with that song. That is 2 tracks, and to be honest, I'm pretty impressed because I think that's close to mix, not done, but close to done. So I think by the end of today, I can probably have those 2 songs in a state where they're about ready for mastering. I don't think we need to overthink it. When you overthink things and you try and push something from 90%, you think, oh, it's only 90% done. Maybe I'll tweak it. It's amazing how sometimes you try to go from 90 to 100 and you end up going backwards to 80, or even worse, backwards to like 50. Or is that just me? There we go. That is that song. We can continue on. So yeah, let me know about the order of the tracks. I'm still not quite sure which way to go with that. Because again, I really like that, and I really like the idea of that being the final song on the EP now, because it's a good message, but so is Perfect. Perfect is like, life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful, which we'll listen to in just a little while. Or that one is just like that. That's the real like hold on sort of message. But yeah, I think it could work either way. Well, let's not overthink that too. Hey Pete, what do other folks have to say? Because I've been crudding on for too long. So, yes, we've got Metallian says that's rockin'. Yes, Tim Osborne's liking it. Desolate Morning, good job on the drums once again, of course. Tom Rochelle says definitely has a lot more punch with the new drums. Great job. Desolate's drinking some green tea. That's your drink of choice. Love it. Doing coffee. What am I drinking? I'm drinking the South Australian Institution, which is Farmers Union iced coffee. Probably shouldn't be because me and dairy don't really see eye to eye that much. But yeah, I went for a walk this morning and I'm like, ooh, Farmers Union iced coffee. So I did. This calls for a beer. Yes, have a beer. Up there in Montreal, I think you should be enjoying an adult beverage while we listen to this. Jade says, it's all thanks to my new drum module. I'm loving playing my E-kit on Pete's songs. Well, there you go. I appreciate it 110% for sure. Johnny Van says, yeah, I'd pay for that class. Yeah, I think I have to as well. Maybe I'll send you a Studio Live Today t-shirt, Jade. You're like, great, thanks, Pete. I get paid in t-shirts. Ripper. Hello, David Willis. Good to have you here, my friend. I'll see who else we got. We've got Devanar from Hong Kong. We've got Fallen, who's here. Hello to you. All saying it's sounding great as well, which is good. Thank you. Again, mostly because of those new drums. If you heard the original drums, woo! I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I think I rushed the drums because that was my Songtember song, my song in a month challenge. Yeah, I didn't spend a lot of time on the drums. But yeah, thankfully now Jade has, which is good. So thank you. And it just shows that, what is it? The sum of the parts is more than the individual. I never know. Does anyone know that term I keep trying to say? It's like the sum of the group you get, or the result, the team is more powerful than the sum of its parts. It's something like that, isn't it? All right, let's move on because we've got more songs to take looks at. So, yep, that was Hold On. I still keep getting confused. I think Fence Sitter is our next tune. And now, Jay, this isn't an invitation to record more drums because you've been working your butt off. But this one, I need to add in some some drums. But I think this one's going to actually just have some percussion, or it's not going to have much at all. Or I might just get out my cajon and give that a few hits, because this is the part of the EP where things start to slow down a little bit. This is more of our ballad section. So we've got sort of two songs to rock us into the middle. We then slow down a bit. Just realized I wasn't showing my screen. We then slow down a bit and we come in here with a nice quiet ballad, which is this one here. Now I'm still working through the vocals. We might even record a vocal take. Would that be fun? Let me know. If you're here live, let me know in the chat if you'd like to see me do a live vocal take here. I've got all my gear set up, so I might as well give it a go. And I might even try singing in a dynamic mic. Because the problem with this one is I was getting up close to this and singing, but it was sounding like turning the gain up. I was getting too much back. You'll hear it in a minute anyway. In fact, I'll show you what I mean right now. So if we come in here, see, these are all soloed. I wish I wouldn't do this, Pete. Just mute the ones you don't want. Don't solo the ones you do want. That makes no sense. There we go. So we've got, that's our two guitars. That's a little lead guitar bit that I'm not sure I like, but I'll bring it in anyway. Which vocal was I using? This one maybe? There we go. So let's just solo this vocal for Fence Sitter. I have a lot of thoughts, but I may not say a lot of them. I let the words come out every now and then. I think a lot of things that many others did. It's not bad. Maybe it just needs a noise gate, or maybe I even need to throw Bruce Free on here. Maybe we'll play around with that in a moment. But let's have a quick listen to where we're at with this for now. And you can let me know. So yes, we've got the basic drums in here, but I'm just going to mute them. We're not going to have Kyle in here. So let's have a listen to it with just my bass, my electric piano, because I wanted this to be a pretty simple mix, and some stereo guitars here. Now the stereo guitars, you'll notice these are completely different patterns now. So originally it was all a fingerstyle guitar bit, and I was going to just do that on the left and right, the same thing. I just couldn't play the fingerstyle part very well. So what we have now is these two parts. Let's take a listen. So over here on the left, it's just playing some basic chords. And then on the right, it's just doing some nice arpeggios. And I think together, that actually sounds pretty nice. And then when we bring the electric piano in here, I wrote this electric piano part. Let me know what you think. I'm not super sold on it, but I like it. Maybe it just needs to be a subtle sit underneath thing. Let's take a listen. If we bring our vocals in on here, on this part, it comes up to this. I have a lot of thoughts, but I may not say a lot of them. I let the words come out every now and then. I think a lot of things that many others disagree with, but you won't even know. Sorry, I was just listening to it there because, yeah, I think it's actually not too far off. I don't know. The other thing is I put this little lead guitar bit in because the intro seemed a bit boring, especially without any percussion. And again, we may add some percussion. Let me know your thoughts, what sort of percussion we may need here. So let's play this in again. what I was actually thinking is that maybe that lead guitar only comes in on the second time around. So let's just split these out. Is that a separate recording? If I delete that, that's going to go away completely, isn't it? I'll show you a trick. If you want to get something that you don't want to, maybe I want to bring it back in, but if I delete it, I can never bring it back. So the way that editing works here in GarageBand is if you move something, as long as there's a tiny piece of it, as long as a tiny piece still exists, it uses non-destructive editing. So it means you can come back afterwards and you can actually adjust it so you can bring it back. But if this bit was one take that I've just completely delete, it's going to go away. So what do? We tap on it, we go to settings, and we just gain it down to -30, which is 0 basically. So it's going to be no sound in there, and then we'll do the same with this little clip here. So we'll leave them there, but this is a good way if you're just experimenting but you don't want to delete things. Grab your gain, go to your settings, grab your gain and put it down to 0, and now it'll look like it's still there and playing. The only problem with this is sometimes you confuse the crap out of yourself because you don't know what is actually going to play and what's not. But for a little part like this, I think we're going to be okay. Let's play on this one now and take a listen to without this, but with the lead coming in at that second part. Lot of thoughts, but I'm in. Yeah, not bad. And then I think I did something else down here. What did I actually play? Sometimes it's easier to fly. Yeah, just in that pre-chorus, just a little lead guitar part. When you're just too tired to fight, I'm a fan. It looks like I did something else that I've cut off there, so I'll just make sure that's cut. So that's what we've got at the moment. Again, let me know what you think and what might need to be added or not added, and whether we should try a vocal. I might, just for fun, just to test if I can do it, because at some stage in the future, I want to do a full tutorial. Once I get the bloody screen recording sorted out, so it's not at 1 frame a second. I want to do a tutorial, like a live recording tutorial with a couple of cameras, so that you can actually see over my shoulder of how I plug in, how I record, how I get things done. So again, let me know if that's something you would like to see. By the way, if you're watching on the replay, and I've been chatting to the folks live here because, as I said at the start, this is a very experimental stream. So if you're watching on the replay, hello to you. If you've got comments about this or anything related to GarageBand or recording or whatever, drop a comment down below. And if you're getting some value or you're having some fun or enjoying seeing the process here, hit the like button. That just tells me that I should do more videos like this. Or say, Pete, get back to tutorials. We don't have an hour and a half to sit and watch you play with your songs. Rightio. So let's see what folks here in the chat have got to say, if there's any advice or thoughts on this as we've been going through. I've lost my chat box. We'll come back up here. Oh, too many little windows and scrolling things around. No, it's not a happening thing here. Switch to this mirrors. So this is where StreamYard does really come into its own, because it gives me the ability to actually do this properly. Yeah, the little YouTube window has broken, and it's not letting me get to chat. This could be fun. I won't be able to get to see what folks are actually saying. I might have to bring up the actual video separately and then pause it just so I can see the chat. Hold the line, please. I'm going to have to do exactly that. Oh, it's not going to even let me go to the watch page. Come on, YouTube. You can do better than this. Yeah, it's all completely frozen up. What if I reload this? Sorry for this, folks, but hold the line, please. Your call is important to us. We'll just get this YouTube thing. Luckily, when you're streaming from OBS, being in the actual stream doesn't actually matter, but it just makes it a lot easier for me to see things like the comments. All right, we've refreshed that. Can we come on down? No? Oh, whoa. No, not working at all. I think my computer's having a little bit of a fit here. Oh, now it's coming down. Hooray, we're back. So I still can't get into that chat window. Oh, yeah. No. So I've got some things here. So Tim Osborne's got to go. Yes, it is very late for you there. We're going to wait here for YouTube. We've got Russ here. Hello to you. Evening, Jade. You mentioned an app the other day that strips down the tracks, removes drums and vocals, etc. So there's a question there. Scott says, tough call with this one. I really like the acoustic, but the piano sounds great with it. Yeah, see, I don't know either. I'll see what we think here. I'll see how I go. Rightio. Yeah, my YouTube window has just completely crashed. We're going to close out completely from my window there from Chrome. We're going to let it breathe for a second, and then we'll reopen and get started. So that is the first 3 of our songs and where we're at with that. We will come back in a moment and get on with our next song. I won't record some vocals just for now, but again, if and when I can actually get to the chat, if that's something you want to see how that will actually work, or how I do a vocal take and a recording, then let me know. But for now, I need to try and reload Chrome to actually get back into the chat here before things completely fall to pieces. All right, I'm going to go back into YouTube, and I'm just going to go to the watch page of this video, which should pop straight up here. It is. We'll pop into there. I'm going to have to pause it before we get the playback of myself, and then I'll be able to rejoin the chat. Work or how I do a vocal. There you go. I didn't pause it quickly enough. Okay, I'm back here in the chat. I'm able to see what is going on here. Very cool. Jade says, can you send me Fence Sitter? I'll try a couple of different drum or percussion ideas. I sure can. Like, there's absolutely no pressure, and you don't have to. But yeah, absolutely. Jade says OBS struggles with PCs with little RAM. Yeah, no, I've got 16 gig in this machine, but it's an old i5 processor, and the video card is not anything special. So that's probably what's struggling there. Hello, Jahi and Lay. Good to have you here. Russ says, it's all interesting, Pete. Thank you. Even the bits where I just try to get my Chrome window back up. Maybe. All right, let's move on here. I'll put this down to one side. We will come back to here. We will bring back up. We'll pop out a Fence Sitter for now, and we'll jump into the other track that we have here. If we bring up our desktop, like so, and get rid of the window thing at the top, and then we can go into... Oh, stop it. I'm fighting a little bit here with the technology, but that's okay. I will not defeat it, but I will work with it. We are one. We have the same goal here, technology, so stay with me. Let's take a listen to Things Have Changed. Things haven't changed much with Things Have Changed since I last showed it to you. I've just done a little bit of tweaking with some of the mixes. This one I am going to keep very low key. So the way the EP is going here is it's going to open with, at this stage for now, it's going to open with No Apologies. It's then going to kick into Hold On. We then go down a little notch with Fence Sitter. We then go down another whole big notch with this one, which is Things Have Changed, and then we're going to finish up with Perfect, because that's going to be our closer, again, at least at this point. Let's just play this one through. If you haven't heard it before, this is a very sort of quiet little ballad. This is my lockdown song. Yes, I know, everyone's got a lockdown song. This is mine. This is Things Have Changed. And it's the first time you're going to be able to hear it in stereo. So you'll be able to hear how nice the Ravenscroft piano sounds. It's a really nice plug-in. Everything else is not really very stereo. It's kind of down the middle. But having that stereo for some of the reverb and echo that I've put on here is going to actually make it sound a bit nice. So let's take a listen, shall we? Things aren't the same. Everything's changed. Even the sun doesn't feel so bright today. When will it end? When can we leave? Right now I'd settle for a small reprieve. It's been a week and feels like a year. I'm doing okay, but you're not near. Are you okay? Do you feel fine? How are you finding things in this new design? Don't know how long it's gonna last, but like everything, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. I mean, that I did say at the start that could almost be the last track, but there's no way I want to end an EP on that. That would be just like, like rocking in the fetal position at the end of that. So no, I want that to then kick into just something, and that's where I think, yeah, you'd almost go dun 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 dun, dun, like the hold on start could possibly be there. I don't know. All right, it's all right. There's other problems. So there was a couple of notes in there that I just wasn't super happy with the combination of the piano with the bass and the strings here. So I just want to take a careful listen to these. I think that the notes are in the right chord, but sometimes they just sound a bit crunchy with the different instrumentation. So I'm just going to turn these up a bit, just so that we can hear how they kind of work together. I've turned the piano up a bit anyway. You can see here the bass is super quiet, so quiet in fact that it's unseeable. In fact, why don't we? This is what I should be doing with these sort of tracks anyway. Why don't we we'll normalize this one to bring the volume up so that we can actually see the waveform. So if you've never done this before, to do merge and normalize a track, we're going to tap here on the bass. We're going to go merge. This is going to ask us which track. We just want to merge this one bass track. So we'll tap on mergeify, like so. It's going to merge it. It's going to normalize it, duplicated it, and there it is. We've now got that track here. Now, it's put it on a regular track now. This is the only problem, is that what I should have done, in fact, let's do that. Let's undo that. What I normally do before I merge is I duplicate out the track first. So I duplicate that. I copy this, and I paste it down into the next track, just so that I've got a backup copy, so that, because when you merge, it takes it all away. So let's put that backup copy there. We will mute it, and then let's re-merge. The only problem with merging is it gives you like 15 different copies of your song. By the end of it, you're at like version 17, because every time you merge, which is good that it backs it up and then it duplicates your project, it means that it will keep it nice. But yeah, that's going to be easier because now we can actually see the actual track here. And the other way to do it is to have to put it over to the audio track first, merge it, and then put it back to the bass track. That's probably what I do longer term, and what I probably should have done here now. But let's just bring it back up, because it's going to have all of the settings that I already had on the bass track. So if we just solo this one, you're going to hear that it sounds like this. And I'm also realizing that I probably shouldn't have used the little movement bass amp. Why did I do that? Anyway, let's bring this down to the right volumes, bring the piano back in, and just take a listen to make sure that these chords are all working together here, and if I need to make any changes. Okay so far? That's all right. Yeah, it's still good. I think those notes are just badly played. That's what it was. If you listen to the bass here, let's just solo it in here. I just need to replay this bass track. So if we listen to this note here. Yeah, it's just badly played bass. That's all right. At least we know now. I'm actually going to undo all that because I don't like how I did that merging now. We'll undo. We'll take it right back to where we were. So that's what we have with this track at the moment. Again, I don't think I'm going to go with much else. I think just having the vocals with the piano, that little cello string at the bottom there, and just a bass. And we may not even need the bass guitar. Again, you can let me know if you hear in the chat or if you're on the replay whether that is something we should have in there. That is that track for now. We'll come back out and we'll come back over here. Yeah, so I know I said recording and mixing. So I should actually do some recording in the title, as I say in the title of this one. So maybe I will sing a couple of vocals. Where's my bass? Is my bass guitar over there? It is. I could plug the bass in and try that track again. Maybe I'll do that afterwards. Let's see how we go on time here, because we are running. Well, we're okay. We're just nearly at the 1 hour mark. This is important stuff for me at least. And again, hopefully you're getting some value. I'm going to try and throw some tips and things in there as we go along. Let's jump back over here, if my Chrome hasn't completely crashed out, and see what folks are saying. Yes, how's everyone doing? Sion, good to have you here, my friend. Jade said she keeps offering to do more drums. She said, I'm not pressured. I'm loving it. Excellent. Well, if you're loving it and you're doing such great work, who am I to argue with that? So I'll be sending you the project afterwards. Hello, Jahan. Jarlin, sorry. Jarlin, thank you for being here. Thank you for your kind words. We've got Lexity. Good to have you here on board. Johnny Van says, this is so Elton. Tomato sauce, that was really nice, thank you. Scott says, nice work. Jarlin said, is it possible to unmerge a track if you've done it by accident? No, so that's why you do need to be super careful when you're merging and why it gives you a backup copy, because you can't unmerge. You can undo, but as soon as you go out and save and then come back into the project, it saves in that merged version of the track. So you're going to be super out of luck at that point if that's what happens to you. Sorry to hear. Yeah, so you can undo it. Yeah, so as Sion's saying, Zanauer says, sounds amazing. Well, thank you. Appreciate you. J-Star says, maybe try the double bass in GarageBand. Yeah, maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to record in a double bass instead. Yeah, we'll have a look at that. Doug Pearson, thanks for being here as well. Says, beautiful song. Appreciate it. Lexity says, could I have some help, please, Pete? I have an illness. Oh, sorry to hear that, my friend. I can't do much with illnesses. I apologise. Like I feel bad for folks. Yeah, I hope you are happy and healthy wherever you are in the world and whatever's going on with you. I do music stuff. Unfortunately, I can certainly try to help raise spirits by providing my musical knowledge and encouragement. But that's the best I can do. And Sion says, can I remix this project as well? Yes, which one? The things have changed. Is that the one you're after? What I'll probably do at the end, definitely for my patrons, and Sion, I know you're a patron of mine, is provide all of the different projects so that you can play around to your heart's content with all of these. And for folks that aren't patrons, I'll probably open up one or two of the projects. We'll work out. We might do a vote on that. That might be something fun to do. We can vote on which one I provide. But I normally put most of my stuff just out there for free anyway. So I may have a change of heart. I like to provide at least something that folks that are supporting me as patrons that they get a little bit extra. But yeah, I'll probably just do something else for the patrons and open them all up for everyone, because why not? Excuse me. Let's continue on. Now, the next thing we need to do is another one of these little voodoo magic tricks. So let's bring back in. We'll bring back in my desktop screen like so. And what we should be able to now do is go back over here to Audio Share. Go back to, where did I bring them in? Video import. And now we've got this one. Perfect. My perfect drums. So, we're in GarageBand. Here's a trick for young players. You can see how these zip files are grayed out. That's because we're in GarageBand. The amount of people that come to me and they say, my audio files, my zip files, they're all grayed out. I can't use them at all. If this bit up here says GarageBand, it ain't going to work. You've got to be in your Files app to actually bring these in. So if we go back here, you can see, look, all these, they're all grayed out because all GarageBand can open is a GarageBand file. It can't open anything else. So it's a simple thing. We either need to go back into Audio Share or just go into our Files app. So let's go into Files, go into iCloud Drive, go into Audio Share Files, and now you can see that these are all bright. They're all bright and shiny. They're all going to work here. So that's what you need to do, and that's what we need to do to open this project and this zip file. Boom. What have I done wrong? Houston, we have a problem. Could not be completed. It's a unknown error. That's an interesting one. Haven't had that unknown error before. Let's try and do it in Audio Share like we did the last time, because this worked with the first lot of drums. They opened. What if we do this? Unzip the contents. Audio Share's doing it. Audio Share's liking it, I think. Unzipped. Yeah, there you go. Maybe because I had two band files in there. Maybe it didn't like it. I don't know, man. All right. Well, we're there, so that's cool. So which one do we do, Jay? Do we do the first or the final? I'm going to go final. I'm assuming that that's the one that you'll want me to take a look at, but I'll give you 30 seconds to let me know if it's not that one, and then we will tap it and open it on up. So we'll have a look at this Jade's version of this project with her drums yet again. Yes, it is. It's Jade's Star Hour here on the Studio Live today. But no, a huge thank you to everyone, by the way. Everyone that supports me, that helps out. Obviously, Jade's drumming on this track, but other people have given me ideas. We've had my buddy Soul Rack, who's given me ideas about the claps and the harmonies, as has Jade. Sion, you're always coming up with great ideas. Everyone's very, very super supportive. And as we get into the final sort of stages of this and the final mix tweaks, we'll make sure that you have the opportunity to provide some input. It's going to be short on time, I'll be honest with you, so it may not be a whole lot of time for input, but I will do my best, and I can't take on everyone's ideas. But again, that's the beauty part of opening them up and giving you a couple of these projects to play with, is you can make them your own and you can play around with them and do them to your heart's content. Jade has said final. Jalen says, my name is pronounced Jalen. Got it. Let's just lock it to memory, shall we? Jalen. The only way I can do this is, I hope you ain't be jailing anyone anytime soon. That's just a trick that I say. You say the name, Jalen, you say it a bunch of times. Now it's programmed. I'll never say it wrong again. Every time I see your name, Jalen Lay. Assuming Lay is Lay. Hopefully L-A-Y is Lay. Hello to you. Stephen Charles says, how do you share a GarageBand project from your phone into a computer, into an Apple computer? So I was showing this a little bit before, but there's a very cool feature here in Audio Share. Down here, this is the Wi-Fi drive function. So you can turn this on, and then you just go to a browser on your PC or your Mac or your iPhone or your iPad or your Android tablet, and you log into that address that it puts up here, and then you can copy files directly from Audio Share here on your iPhone or your iPad, whole projects, zip files, whatever, and send them on across. So that's what I use. On a Mac, you've got the advantage of also being able to airdrop. So you can use the airdrop function directly from your iPhone or iPad to send across to your Mac. You can also use iTunes if you really want to. No one really uses iTunes anymore. And iCloud Drive. So there's a bunch of different ways. If you search my name, Pete Johns, and share, that should get you some information that will help out. Anyway, let's open up this one. So we've got perfect.band. Oh, hang on. No, we're going to have to go out now. Now we're going to have to go back to GarageBand so that we can open the GarageBand file. But once again, we are going to select. We're going to tap. We're going to move it so we can put it over in the right spot. There it is. There's my EP. We're copying it on across. And then we'll come back to iCloud Drive. Sorry, I know that the video is probably not keeping up with all my tapping because the frame rate is so low. We did try to do some better things. It didn't work. So we'll come back in here. That is good. That is there. So let's open up. And again, if you didn't see the first one, earlier in the show, I opened and listened to for the first time Jade's version of Hold On, which she added drums for. She has also added drums for my song Perfect, which is indeed perfect because I'm crappy at drums, as I've mentioned several times. So here are the drums. There are all the tracks for the song. So yeah, let's just go to the start here. I'm going to turn my microphone down. I'm going to hit play, and you and I and everyone are going to listen to the world premiere of my song, hopefully close to a final mix of my song Perfect, with Jade Star adding some drums here. And yeah, we'll come back afterwards and have a chat and yeah, see what we need to do from here. But this is going to be the final song on the EP, track 5 at this stage. It's a song called Perfect. Life isn't always fair, and everyone has their problems. It's easy to hide away and harder to find solutions. But I know this for sure, this ain't a dress rehearsal, so don't wait to see the sign. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. They you lack direction, but you gotta stay the course, 'cause you're gonna face rejection, and you won't always know that there's a battle ahead. Sometimes the war is in your head. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. And I don't know what is left to say, 'cause sometimes you hide away and look back on your mistakes, but you cannot turn back time and make everything seem fine. So remember, life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. 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 There you go. What do you think? A lot of positive comments coming from the I was going to say the peanut gallery. How horrible would that be? Coming from those watching live. I think I've been live for too long. I think I need to go out for a walk and get some exercise soon. But we do probably have another half an hour because I want to do some recording today. I feel bad because I put recording and mixing in the title. If I do no recording, that seems like clickbait. Clickbait. Let's talk about these drums. What do I love about them? I love the tom work in the bridge. I think that is awesome. Let's see. I should have noted the sections. Because you can't name your sections here, GarageBand. I don't know which ones are which. Is it? No, it's not there. Is it over here? You will not. Nope. Life. Here is it? No, it's here. Yeah, I really like the four on the floor. And how's these drop? Yeah. How good does those toms sound? Like through there. The bit that was controversial. So Jade sent me an early copy of this, and it had, and I was like, ooh. The first time I listened to the little halftime section that comes in, I was like, oh, I really hated that halftime section. Then I listened to it a second time. I'm like, oh, I quite like that halftime section. Then I listened a third time. I'm like, I really love that halftime section. I think when it's not what you originally thought, then it's like, oh, it's grating because it's not what I originally thought. And then I listened to it and I'm like, actually, it's better than what I originally thought. So sometimes you got to think, you got to stop and think, is it just different? So is something that you're listening to and you're like, that doesn't sound right? Or does it just sound different? And is different good? So that's what I'd say about that. So I had to give myself a good talking to. I'll find the spot that I'm talking about where we go half time. Oh, this for sure. This ain't a dress rehearsal. Just here, just listen to this cool halftime beat that we get in here. So don't wait to see the sign. And then life doesn't have to be perfect. It provides the perfect, pardon the pun, contrast between because here's what you got here. You've got the really sort of solid rhythm through the verses, and then you've got the nice sort of little pre-chorus where it goes halftime, and then it kicks in with the real sort of driving beat of the chorus. And I think that contrast between those three sections is what makes it work with this song, not surprisingly. So then you come into life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Life doesn't have. And similar to the hold-on drums, what Jade's done well here with the drums, and I'm no drummer, but if you're going to do one thing with your bass and your drums, it is have a really tight tie-in between your kick drum or your bass drum and your bass guitar. So if you listen to the kick drum or the bass drum pattern through this section, it really complements it well. It drives it through and it creates this beautiful syncopation between the lyrics, between the vocals and the actual drumming and the bass. So take a listen again. Life doesn't have to be perfect, to be wonderful. Life doesn't have to be perfect, to be wonderful. So it's boom, boom, boom. Then it's boom, boom, boom. It's almost a triplet across that second part. So boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it just creates that. And then what Jade's done here at the end is the section with the controversial hand claps, because I still think that we need a bit of a like this at the end. But Jade's actually replicated that on the snare. So take a listen to what she's done on the outro here. Have to be perfect. Yeah, works well. So again, so last night I did some testing. I did some testing to get all of this happening, and I was feeling like kind of down because here's the thing. When you've had a really long day and it's like 11 o'clock at night, sitting down and over-analyzing and over-assessing and being overcritical on your own stuff is usually a bad idea. So I took my own advice and said, Pete, if someone came to you and said, oh, I've been working on this EP for a week, and then I was listening to it last night and everything just sounds wrong and I can't seem to get it, I would say, oh, really? Like, what had you done before that? Like, oh, I just spent 12 hours, being a parent and doing all the things and doing the housework and tidying and doing all this. I'd be like, go to bed, get 8 hours of the good stuff, get up and listen again, because fresh ears, ear fatigue is a real thing. Jade's mentioned it before. Others have mentioned it. Ear fatigue is massive. So right now, after this session, I should not listen to these for another couple of hours. What I will do is I will close these down. I'll leave the house. I'll go for a walk. I'll spend a couple of hours out in the rain, and then I will come back this afternoon with fresh ears and listen again. So that is the key and the secret to this, because as soon as you start getting down, you'll make bad decisions. And I was about to tear everything down and make bad decisions. You know what? Woke up this morning, listened to them, like, actually, it sounds okay. So yeah, that's my advice to you. What do folks say about the drums here? We'll come over to the chat here. Scott likes the build-up. Yeah, I really like the build-up, like the contrast there. Barry Tompkinson says excellent. Scott, great song. Kip is here. Hello, Kip. Cool song and sounds great. And Jalen, see, I told you, get it right, says, I love the song. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Desolate Morning, yep, perfect drums for the song Perfect. Excellent. It's a peanut gallery. Jade laughing at that one. That's a keeper, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think so. And I think you might have seen that. I think Jade slid a couple of backing tracks down the bottom there as well, which is kind of cool. I'll definitely be taking a look at those and probably keeping them, because why not? Sounds good. It's all come together nicely. I'm just going to have to reload this. Something wrong with my... It's Chrome that's causing the issue. The Chrome browser. Does anyone else have problems? Jalen, see, I told you, get it right. Quiet. I love the song. Quiet me. There you go. Yeah, I've got so many plugins and extensions and things running in Chrome that it kind of has puppies whenever I try to do anything. Alrighty. Let's do a wee bit of recording before we finish off, shall we? Because I just want to do something a little bit experimental here. We've been experimenting all day, so why let the experimenting stop? Oh, just have to get the other end of my XLR cable. I'm just going to do a couple of takes of a couple of these songs, just casually using the handheld mic here, because I've been using this one over here. I've been using let me just bring this up over here. I've been using the AT2020, the large diaphragm condenser, for everything, including the vocals. But sometimes a dynamic microphone, you can just get a better performance singing into a dynamic mic. So let's experiment. I'm not going to do it with that track, with Perfect, because that's not perfect, but it is on the way to being where it needs to be. But what was the one I wanted to do? I wanted to do Fence Sitter, didn't I? because I'm not comfortable with these tracks that we have here. So let's bring this one back up here, and I'll show you how I set up to record, how I attack a vocal take. This might give you some hints and tips and ideas for what you may want to do as well. So let's get ourselves set up here. So I'll make sure that we've got a nice balanced mix to start with. That's sounding okay. Make sure the vocals are not on. I think we're going to be okay with singing to that. I have a lot of thoughts. Yep, we're good. So now what do we do? Well, we need to set up a vocal track. So what we would do, we'll go down to the bottom here. We're going to tap on the big plus button at the bottom. We're going to tap on audio recorder. Now, what do I use when I record vocals? I go to more sounds, and I usually use these days the Radio Ready. Why do I use Radio Ready? Well, first thing I do is turn off the pitch control. Actually, I'll show you why I turn off the pitch control. So I've got my microphone plugged in. You can see that it's plugged into channel 1 of my Steinberg UR22C interface. You can't see that. Sorry, I was going to swivel the camera around and show you. Should I just do that? Let's just do that. Oh, we're getting super experimental here now, aren't we? So there's my setup that you can see that we have there. We've got the Steinberg UR22C. It's plugged into there. I'm going to dial in my input gain there. That's going into my iPad via the powered USB hub that's sitting behind in there. And then this one here, which is the genuine Apple USB-C to USB-C, USB and HDMI adapter. So there you go. I don't usually show you the behind the scenes filthiness and messiness of my of the rest of my desk. That's usually out of shot. What you've learnt there is that everything in this cone behind me is fine. If you go too far that side or that side, it's just chaos. So yeah, I'm selling you an unrealistic expectation, but sometimes I think it might be okay to show that, because it shows that if your studio is a complete mess sometimes, then you won't feel so bad about it, because you'll be like, Pete's studio is messy. He just makes it look like it's not messy. Anyway, getting off track, let's turn monitoring on here, and you'll instantly hear that I'm coming through here. But check. Can you hear that there is a significant amount of latency there? That is because the pitch control is on. As soon as we turn that off, now there is no latency. It has reduced almost all of the latency. So this is one of the biggest things. That's one of the biggest things that I say to folks is, if you're getting latency, for goodness sake, turn off your pitch control. If you're using the lead vocal or the Radio Ready and you've got pitch control on, which it does by default, I know, then turn it off while you're recording, because it's doing that processing. It's going to actually give that, as opposed to delay, which I actually use a bucket load of delay when I'm recording vocals. So let's I'll dial up my input gain, because I'm using a dynamic mic. My input gain needs to go up a bit, so I'll just be quiet. I'll turn it all the way up. You'll just hear the noise floor. There's the noise floor, and what we need to do is dial it back down from there to just below the noise floor, so that we're coming through here fine. We're getting a nice bit of signal, but there's no noise floor. And if I sing from here, it'll be, I'm a fan sitter. Sometimes I like to keep my thoughts to myself. So what we're doing is, if you look at the input gain there, and I did a video about audio quality yesterday, we can't use this slider because we're using the input gain over here on the interface. But what we can do is make sure that when we're singing, where this should be hitting is between 50 and 70%. If it's up here too high, you're going to get clipping and distortion. If it's down here too low, you're going to have to turn it up and then get a bunch of noise in your mix. So get it in between there. Now, all of these settings don't actually matter for the recording, but I set these so that I can hear myself the best. So I would never have this much compression on here, but it just helps me to be able to hear it. And the same with the delay. Like I said, I give myself a bucket of delay and quite a bit of this ambience. The reason for that is hearing myself just afterwards actually helps me out, because you can kind of adjust your pitch. And I find that I sing more in pitch by having quite a bit of delay and reverb on my voice. You may be completely different. That may be completely distracting to you. And if it is, don't do it and do something else. Let me find my vocals. Let me find my lyrics. I'll bring these up over here. Boom. And we can sing along. That's hiding behind. I'll pop that over on my other screen. So we can find, where are we? Fence Sitter. There's my lyrics to Fence Sitter. I should know them by now, and I recommend that when you're singing the final version of your lyrics, you should probably actually know them off by heart. You'll get a better performance. But yeah, again, do as I say, not as I do. Is that the old statement? Something like that. All right, let's have a go at these. I'm just going to hit record, and we're going to record in a take of my vocals for Fence Sitter. And hey, who knows? Could be a one take wonder, and get a nice version of this done live here. So I'm going to turn down this mic, this one here, and just be singing through here. So that's what all you'll be hearing is what I'm monitoring through my iPad. Let's do it. All right, hit record. I have a lot of thoughts, but I may not say a lot of them. I let the words come out every now and then. I think a lot of things. Now, when I get to this point, I will generally come back and just do a quick check, a quick eyeball, and a quick listen just to make sure that everything's coming through okay. Let's just quickly listen to this. I have a lot of thoughts, but I may not say a lot of them. Yep, that's sounding okay to me. I'm actually going to delete that because I didn't actually use the right intonation there. It's every now and then in that first one, and I went every now and then. So let's try it again, and we'll start this one from the top. Hit record. I have a lot of thoughts, but I may not say a lot of them. I let the words come out every now and then. I think a lot of things that many others disagree with, but you won't even know unless you choose to ask. Sometimes it's easier to fly when you're just too tired to fight. I'm a fence sitter. Sometimes I like to keep my thoughts to myself. It's easier than facing up to the conflict. And I know that not everyone's this way, but it's how I get through the day. Fence sitter. You might think I'm weak and I should just express myself, but it's not black and white all of the time. I should pick a side and go all in with one direction, but I don't think that's right for me anyway. Sometimes I try to close my mind, but there's always another side. I'm a fence sitter. Sometimes I like to keep my thoughts to myself. It's easier than facing up to the conflict. And I know that not everyone's this way, but it's how I get through the day. Fence sitter. And I don't expect you to be the same, but I'm asking for you to refrain from making me feel ashamed. And there we go. That is how I do a vocal take. Now, what I would probably have done there is that second verse, I started singing it and I wasn't happy with how it was going. So I probably would have stopped myself and then just restarted again from there. But I thought I'd actually show you how you can actually just cut into some vocals, so how you can punch in. Because a lot of people say, how do I punch in? There's no like looping or punching in mechanism here in GarageBand. So what I thought is I would show you how to do this. So what I generally do, let's zoom in on this sucker. So we'll zoom on in, so here, and I will punch in from, say, around about here, because this is just that in-between bit. It doesn't matter if it records over this, A, because it's silent, but B, because we can just move it. It's audio that we've got non-destructive audio. So I'll show you what I mean in a moment. I'll show you another trick that I use here as well when I'm recording. Sometimes I will just add in a second audio recorder track here, put it on channel 2, record nothing on it. So just put the output right down to 0 and leave monitoring off. But when we come back out to here, the beauty part of this and of having a 2-channel interface is I can now record both of these channels, and it'll mean that I can stay on this view. So this is a lot easier, especially when you're recording, when you're overdubbing over the top, you can actually get both of them in here. So let's try this, and what we'll do is we'll hit record. Actually, let me just make sure that the audio, I'll just make sure that no one's commenting here to say, Pete, you've lost your audio or anything's gone wrong here. Cool. It seems to be okay. So we'll continue on with that. Sometimes I worry that I just go off on a tangent for like 10 minutes doing something, and then it might have like failed like 10 minutes ago. And I should probably check in and make sure we're still live and still working. So let's show you how we do this now. I've got this next, I'm going to record straight back on this track. It's going to go straight over the top of the other version of the second verse, and I'm just going to sing it right over the top, because I know I don't want to keep this one, but I can just overdub straight on this track. So let's hit record now, and you'll see it's got the 2 there. So it's recording on both of these tracks. Nothing on the second one, but just so we do that. Stop, Pete, you got to sing. You might think I'm... yeah, I shouldn't have been crapping on so much. So let's undo that one and then try again. I'll stop talking this time. You might think I'm weak, and I should just express myself, but it's not black and white all of the time. I should pick a side, go all in with one direction, but I don't think that's right for me anyway. Sometimes I try to close my mind, but there's always another side. And we'll stop there because I thought, well, bang, sorry about that. Let's put that mic down there. Let's unmonitor. There you go. Now you won't hear the mic cracking around there. So this is all good. Now we don't need this track. We can just delete that one straight away. Oop, I had both of them selected. Be careful with that. Tap off, tap on, tap it, delete it. Right. So that's all cool. That's what we wanted to do there. And you can see here that if we've gone too far with that next recording, no problem. Non-destructive editing. Move it back, grab this one, move it back. Like, we've got complete control over this stuff of where it actually crosses over. So there you go. Now if we bring this back together, it'll just have my second take. There's always another side. Into I'm a fence sitter. Fence sitter. Yeah, good work, Pete. Having a song that has fence sitter when you have a lisp, and anyway, let's continue on. So yeah, and again, the same thing here. So yes, we recorded all of this business here, but even if this was recording over the top of here, all we need to do is grab this one, bring this to the very start of that recording, grab this one, and stretch it back out. So we've got non-destructive editing means that this is take one, this is take two, this is take one again. This just sits over the top. And you can do this anywhere. If I wanted to redo a particular phrase, particular part, I can actually do it there. Now, what I would instantly then do is once I've done recording, is I would actually change, because that sound is okay for the actual recording, but I wouldn't have that much compression or delay or ambience on that. I would dial it back down a bit. I might even sneak on some pitch control. So I'll normally only ever put a tiny bit on there, otherwise you're going to T-paint it up, which is no fun. So let's just add a little bit of pitch control on there. We'll come in here, we'll see if we need to do anything more significant with the compressor as we play this back. So let's just go back to the start and play a bit of this track, shall we? I have a lot of thoughts, but I may not say a lot of them. I let the words come out every now and then. I think a lot of things that many others disagree with, but you won't even know unless you choose to ask. Sometimes it's easier to fly when you're just too tired to fight. I'm a fence sitter. Sometimes I like to keep my thoughts to myself. It's easier than facing up to the conflict. And I know that not everyone's this way, but it's how I get through the day. Fence sitter. So I don't know about you, but I actually think that sounds better. The vocal that I recorded in a couple of takes here using a dynamic mic, I think actually sounds better for this song. And what I might do before we finish up here is let's just do the same over on, let me know in the comments or the chat here if you think that is better than the original vocal we heard. We can do some comparison, and I will do in future videos. But let's just sing while I've got the connection going on here. Let's jump back over to things have changed. Oh, see, here's all these things have changed copies because I did all of that craziness with all the merging. So let's just come to the latest version. I'm going to have to do some renaming after the stream here. Come back to this one, and let's just turn down these. So I'm just going to sing along with the piano mostly. Delete that one off there. We will duplicate this track because I've probably set this up to sing as well. Yeah, oh no, this has got the lead vocals on there. Go back to radio ready. Turn off the pitch control. Turn up the delay. You know how I like it now. You've learned how I set my vocals. Turn on the monitor. Whoa. Yeah, probably want to turn off this. Oh, that's. Why has it got so much of that? Maybe I don't need quite so much delay. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's cool. So let's just sing another take of this song, and then we'll finish up the stream here, and I'll go away, have some rest, and then come back and listen to these fresh, and we'll do the final mixing and mastering, which is coming up in the next couple of days, which should be a lot of fun. Let's hit record on this one and see how we go. I'll need to change my lyrics up here on the screen. 2 things have changed, which I'll do. It's a very simple song. It's only a couple of lines. But knowing me, I'll probably forget it halfway through. Zoom that one out. All right, we're good. Let's hit record and sing this one, shall we? Check 1 hard. So yeah. Just trying to find the note. Do you ever do that? Do you ever go, gotta remember the first note? Let's go. Things aren't the same. Everything's changed. Even the sun doesn't feel so bright today. When will it end? When can we leave? Right Right now I'd settle for a small reprieve. It's been a week and feels like a year. I'm doing okay, but you're not near. Are you okay? Do you feel fine? How are you finding things in this new design? Don't know how long it's gonna last, but like everything, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Turn off, stop monitoring. Stop monitoring. I don't want to put the mic down and make it go clunk again. Monitor off. All right. You know what's a great idea? I haven't had water for about an hour, and I'm singing like what is trying to be the final versions of these songs. Really, really smart move, Pete. Stay hydrated, folks. Not with beer or iced coffee, but with H2. Okay, let's let's just take a listen back to these real quick. So yeah, quiet, man. Even the sun doesn't feel so bright today. When will it end? When can we leave? Right now I'd settle for a small reprieve. No. It's been a week, it feels like a year. I'm doing okay, but you're not near. Are you okay? Yeah, again, I'm thinking that we're probably going to end up going with vocals like that. Let's just pop out of there. Make sure everything saves in and goes up into the cloud and is there for us for later, and we'll be all good. Let's jump back over here. Hi, I've got the camera set. I've moved things around, and I'm in so many different locations here today that we'll see if everything comes together all right. Excuse me. Let's bring this one back up here, and we'll say a final farewell and a chat to folks here. Yay, my thing is actually working here. Solrak, good to see you, my friend. Was talking about you before, that you had some good ideas around the backing vocals and the claps, which is very cool. Barry Tompkinson is here as well. Thank you for being here. Sion's got some good tips. Says here, hey Pete, before you edit, I'll mention a tip to help your song stay in key. I learned it when recording one of my songs yesterday. Actually, here's the tip. When you record it directly into GarageBand, press and hold the audio, go to settings and select keep tempo on key. It'll allow you to pitch correct it. Yeah, so was it you, or it might have been you, or someone else was mentioning to me the other day that even if you're not using virtual instruments, make sure when you're doing pitch correction that you have it in the key that you're singing in the project settings to make sure that it actually pitch corrects to the right note. Otherwise, it might think you're in, G major when you're actually in A major, and it might pitch correct you to the wrong sharp or flat, which could be bad. So yeah, good tip. I like it. We've got Jalen says, how are you performing guitar slides in a song? I noticed a few in there. So yeah, the guitar slides on the bass guitar is literally just sliding up and down with my finger, and the same thing with the acoustic guitar. I'm not using an actual slide, but I like bass sounds for these sort of tracks that just goes up there. Jade started talking about the backing vocals. She said they're vile, and I did them on the iPad mic in bed. You can do better, Pete. Well, maybe I'll re-record. We'll have a crack anyway. Kyle TV, good to have you here, my friend. Thanks for dropping in. Question from Stephen Charles: is it possible to share a GarageBand project into Logic Pro X? It is. So here's how it works. You can go from GarageBand iOS to GarageBand Mac, but you can't go back. And then you can go from GarageBand Mac to Logic Pro X, but you can't go back. So think about like it going forward. It's like time. You can't go back in time. You can only go forward. So yeah, if you do want to send something from GarageBand iOS to Logic, you absolutely can. It'll be compatible. It'll open. Then as soon as you save any changes in either GarageBand Mac or Logic, it won't work after that. So Jade says, so when I was talking about Jade's drums locking into the bass, it says, to be honest, Pete, it's because I play along to only vocals and bass. That's cool. I like it. That's work. That's what works. Then go with it. Rightio. Let's scroll on down because we've got some other comments here. We'll see if there's any questions or comments or anything else, and we'll finish up. We've got a note here. Turn on multi-track recording. I think I did that eventually, but yes, that was a good idea. Going straight back up. Sorry, I'm going to have to restart again because it seems that my Chrome, my Google Chrome is using up so much of the memory that it just is completely crashing and causing me problems here. So maybe I need to go back to Firefox, kick it old school, and go back to Firefox and do that. Alrighty. It's just reloading. Just talk amongst yourselves. Hold the line. We'll reload this. It is 11:11 here, so I'm going to finish up in just a few moments, but I just wanted to make sure that I covered everything. What I should actually do is just have my phone up here and be monitoring the chat on my phone. That would make a lot of sense. I might do that for the next show. This is still not working. I'm going to copy. I'm going to close Chrome completely, and I'm going to open Firefox. Do I still have the latest version? I'll probably say you're on version 2017 of Firefox. No, I'm not going to use you as my default browser, but I am going to see if you can at least load up a YouTube page and let me look at the chat. Thank you for being here, by the way. It's been a little bit experimental today. I've had a lot of fun, and hopefully, as usual, I say if you can get one or two little tips and tricks out of things, then that's got to be a good thing, yeah. So not everything I do is not going to be your cup of tea, and that's okay, but yeah. Jade says, I'm waiting for a bus. There you go. Sion's got a 5-string bass. I got the chat back. Vedran Greggett says, hi, Pete. Keep up the great tutorials. Thank you, my friend. Jalen says, how long does it take to mix and master a song? Yeah, it takes varying amounts of time. It doesn't take me that long, to be honest, in the end, because I mix on the way in. So you would have seen that as I'm recording, I'm mixing, I'm tweaking, I'm adding, I'm getting the sound right, so that now my job's actually pretty simple from here. I'm going to go into each of these tracks. I'm going to do the editing, the cleaning up, removing any of the silences or just the background noises and the sniffles and the things. And then I'm going to just tweak each one until they sound about right. Then we're going to add some automation to get the final mix, because that's usually the last thing I do, because automation is just those final little volume tweaks. And then, yeah, you got my final mixes. I send it to be mastered. And my mastering process, as you'll find out in a couple of videos' time, is pretty simple. I don't actually do a whole lot when it comes to mastering, mostly limiting, maybe a little EQ. And I'm not sure if I'll just use GarageBand for these or if I'll use Final Touch or a combination. Haven't quite decided that yet. Might even just do it all in GarageBand and show you how we can do all 5 projects in GarageBand as WAV files, and then we can listen. The beauty part of doing that is you can listen to each one, just have the 5 songs on 5 different tracks in GarageBand, and then you can add stuff in there. Or I may go over to Final Touch. We'll see how we go. Question from Sion. Do you have your lyrics written out? I do. So yes, my lyrics are in here. I'll show you what I do if I can bring it over here. Now that I've popped that one down, I'll pop this one over here. And I'll pop this one up over here. Boom. So what I have, not that one, but this one. So this is what I was singing to just then. It was zoomed in a little bit there. So that's what I was singing to just then when I was singing Fence Sitter. I had it here. So yeah, this is what I do. And yeah, side note, this is what I also have for my lyrics and chords for my happy hour show. So if you've ever seen me play on the happy hour, which I do on the weekends, these are all of my different songs that I have all the different chords and lyrics for happy hour. But yeah, I keep all of these in OneNote. And I think you're a OneNote user too, Sion. So yeah, my OneNote, my songwriting OneNote has my EP project with all my sort of project notes and things that I'm talking about here. And then it's got each song which has lyrics. They're not in any sort of order, but it's usually got lyrics, and then it's got chords, and it's got sections, and it's got all sorts of things in there. So that's how I roll when it comes to this sort of stuff. Not super organized, but somewhat organized, I guess. Tom Rochelle says, yep, save a duplicate first. Always duplicate, always do that. Jade says, it's a much better take. Thank you. Yeah, I agree that it seems to be sounding better. And don't be afraid to try different things. Like I hadn't used this, but as I was singing using the large diaphragm condenser, I'm like, I think this is going to sound better for these softer songs, just straight through something like this. So I think That's what it is. Jade, you're on your way to get your pedal fix. Well, that's very, very cool. So hopefully I'll finish up here. I'll consolidate these projects down. I'll flick you, what was it? Fence Sitter you were going to have a go at. So yeah, we'll see. Next one could be Jade Star featured yet again. We'll see. Hello, Michele or Michele Cavago says this is fantastic. Thank you. Very, very, very appreciative. You're welcome, Sion. Yeah, it's a good thing to do to just have everything there. And definitely do. Please jump over to Jade Star's website if you want to learn more about what she is doing, because she has been kind enough to provide 2 different drum tracks for 2 different songs. She will probably crush out an awesome percussion track for Fence Sitter. It's basically going to be drums by Jade Star on this album. That's the way it's going to go. Righty go. When are you releasing the EP? That's probably a good question, and probably something that we'll almost finish up with, because we're not running out of time. I have infinite time. Like, I have all the time, but I have no time. So the EP is going to be released by the 3rd of June at the latest. That was the date that we put as an end. I am aiming for the 1st of June. That is my hope. So we'll see how we go today, tomorrow, and over the weekend. Depends on other commitments and other things over the weekend as to how quickly I can get there. But the 3rd of June, that's it. That's an absolute drop dead date that it needs to be ready to go and needs to be uploaded. So what I'll do is there'll be versions of it here on YouTube. So I'll probably have the entire EP in full audio mastered quality that you can listen to for free right here, because that's how we roll around here. And then I will upload it to DistroKid, and it will be released and available on your Spotify's and Apple Music's and iTunes and all the other places. If you want to buy a copy, stream a copy, or support me in that way, you can do that as well. By the way, just a complete aside, but if you've used SongLink before, SongWhip, Wilson over at SongWhip has just has continued to do good things. And as I'm saying this, I'm trying to find the new shortened link, and I can't actually find it. So at the moment, what you can do is go to songwhip.com/Pete-Johns, and that is going to take you to my current music, and that's where this will be. I've just thrown that in the chat there for anyone who wants to check out the previous stuff, so you can listen to the current versions of. In fact, I'll show you what it looks like. While I got my screen and my desktop up here, I can show this. So this is what SongWhip looks like. Pretty cool. It uses my Spotify artist profile pic behind there, which is me playing guitar on the beach. And then you can, whatever platform you're using, you can click straight through here and go and check out on that platform. So for me, I'm a Google Play Music listener, so I can tap Google Play Music. It's going to drop me straight into Google Play Music, load up my library, and then be ready to play there. And I can start playing my tunes. I can hit play, and it'll pause for a second because everything's very slow at the moment, but it should actually start playing like that. There we go. So that's pretty cool. That's a cool service. And if you've got anything released anywhere, you can do the same thing. If you go to songwhip.com, you can actually just search for yourself or just paste in a Spotify link, and it will find you. It'll find your artist, it'll find your songs, and then instead of trying to share people SoundCloud links and Spotify links and stuff, share one link. Share your SongWhip link with everyone, and then everyone can see everything you're doing. As Jade says, yes, if you do want to check out anything else about the channel and what's going on around here, studiolivetoday.com is the place to go. And specifically, if you want to check out any of the gear I use, so the Audio-Technica AT2020, my favorite condenser mic, the AKG D5, my favorite dynamic mic, which you heard in action here today. I thought it sounded pretty cool. The Steinberg UR22C audio interface has been doing heavy duty here. It's been doing all the playback and all of the recording input you've been hearing here today. My iPad Pro 2020, which I'm loving. A few things I'm not loving. We'll talk about that in a future video, but mostly loving. The 10-DAC powered USB hub. My Zoom LiveTrack L8. All of those are listed over at studiolivetoday.com/gear, so you can check that out as well. I hope you got some value out of this one. Like I said, I had a lot of fun doing this. If you did get value, or if you just caught sort of part of it, you can go back to the start and we go through all the different songs, the 5 songs. It was pretty experimental. We did have a couple of little false starts there at the start, but what I'll do is I'll throw some timestamps in here, so by the time it's processed, you should be able to come back and see the different parts of where we went through all of the different things. I'm going to have to go before I run completely out of voice, but I've just realized that I'm not back in. You'll have to bear with me for another 2 minutes or so because I'm not actually in the section of YouTube that I need to be in that is going to actually let me end the stream. I can just drop the stream here from OBS, but that will look and sound and be a bit bad. So just bear with me a moment. I'm just going to reload here in here. I've got to go because the problem is Google have removed the old way that you used to do events, and the new way that you do them doesn't really work for things like OBS streaming and doing live events. You can just stream now live and it all works fine. But yeah, everything else, not so much. Doesn't quite work. So there we go. I'm back at the right page. So we're all good here now. Thank you once again, everyone, for being here. StudioLiveToday.com for all of your other Studio Live Today related stuff. The Facebook group is over, Create, Record, Release. You can join that one if you want to interact. Patreon is a thing. You can sign up over there, patreon.com/PeteJohns. The description is a good place to get all of those links. Thank you, folks. I'm heading off to take a break from the music stuff, get some exercise, have some downtime, and then I'll be back again in the next day with more here on Studio Live Today. Take care, folks. See you soon.